Hey everyone, it's Mash at PAX 2024 again, and I'm here with.
I'm Jordan.
Arisa.
Why don't you guys tell us a little bit more about this game?
Yeah, so I guess we can introduce us as a company. So we're Blue Curse Studios, and we're working on a game called Snacko. Do you want to introduce the actual game?
So Snacko is a life sim with a focus on player agency and freedom. So it's got all the elements like farming, decorating, crafting, resource gathering. But the main point of it is rebuilding up a community and giving the players a lot of freedom in terms of who they want on their island, where they live, and things like that.
Just seeing your game at the expo reminded me a lot of things like Animal Crossing, or more specifically Harvest Moon, or Rune Factory. How would you say that your game? What makes your game like really like pop when it comes to that genre?
So again, when we said we place a heavy emphasis on player freedom, because I'm a huge Rune Factory and Harvest Moon fan, I'm also a big Animal Crossing Sims fan. A lot of these games generally are fixed camera. And if there is some sort of like decorating or town building element, they're usually tile-based or they're pretty limited in where you can place things. With Snacko, we worked really hard to sort of open that up to everything. So we have a pretty robust like building system where like you can place things wherever you like and you can stack them. We don't really put any limitations on the player. And in terms of NPCs, instead of having like a set cast, we have a couple that players can choose from. So for example, if you need a grocer, there's like 3 and they all have different personalities, backstories, they're different animals. So that is, I feel like how, besides the obvious, they're all animals point. Because you usually have Animal Crossing, but you're still a person. And you have Rune Factory where everyone is a person / fantasy person. So Snacko, I feel like, is one of those where it's like you are an animal and everyone else is also an animal.
It's kind of rare. There's not much else out in the genre where it's like totally animal based. I don't know why. It seems like a no-brainer, but whatever. And then aside from what she described, there's a lot of. I'm mostly coming from not this genre background of a gamer myself, but I did have to kind of tie a lot of my old. I'm more of an RPG platformer person. And you'll find a lot of that scattered throughout the world in our obelisks and shrines. You'll find puzzle dungeons and some other small little speedrun challenges for people who enjoy platforming or just that kind of stuff. So that's something you don't really find in a lot of games either. So definitely.
So just to kind of like emphasize, this isn't purely farming. There's also going to be like combat. There's like an element of RPG to this.
Yeah, so there is going to be. It's not going to be crazy skill progression like in like a real RPG. Everything's going to be a little more simplified just to keep it simple for people. But yeah, you will find combat. You'll find that we have a skill system. We have a tool upgrade system. I guess it does go pretty crazy a little bit.
And in terms of like, I just really like the aesthetics of it. So what was your like frame of mind going into visual and also sound design for this?
Yeah, so growing up, one of my biggest inspirations for this game was actually a game, an MMO called Ragnarok Online. And in that game, they used not exactly our style, but you did have these flat 2D sprite characters in a 3D world, and I loved it. That was always my favorite art style. And then I saw that again recently come up with Octopath Traveler. When I saw that game, I was like, I want to make a game just like that style. So that's kind of where the game's visuals came from. With the sound, we had a soundtrack done by Dale North, who's a part of Scarlet Moon, which is the same company that did the soundtrack for Ragnarok Online. So there's a lot of, you're going to find a lot of overlap with the way the Ragnarok Online soundtrack sounds and the Snacko soundtrack sounds. It's kind of nice to see that a lot of the players who have played Snacko have picked up on that and said they can tell that there are these early MMO vibes in our soundtrack as well. So,
and would you be able to tell us like a little bit about kind of story, obviously without going into too much detail?
So the rough story is you are sick of your 9-to-5 capitalist life with your best friend, and you guys decide to just wing it, buy a boat, and set sail for this island you guys learned about while you were kids, this unknown cursed island, because surely a cursed island would have free real estate. Well, you guys are correct. You wash ashore, and Nobu, one of the last residents of the island, take you under his wing and tells you, just stay put here, just don't go outside, it's too dangerous. But you two are too stubborn and too bored. And you kind of take it upon yourself to revitalize this island and rebuild it from scratch. And as you go about that, Nobu, the resident that you meet, sort of comes around to, oh, maybe we can rebuild this island after all. And as you progress through the storyline, the island sort of grows with you.
And how long has this game been in development for?
We've been in development since 2018. Not full time until like the recent 3 years. So the last 3 years have been pretty serious development. So yeah, it's been a while, but it's finally coming together.
And is there any like anticipated release date, or is it an early access or anything like that?
Currently, the game is in early access, so you can find it on our Steam page for sale. The 1.0 full release we're scheduling or trying to hit at the end of this year in December. And then once 1.0 goes live, we'll be able to work on the Switch, PS4, and PS5 ports.
Great. So just for the viewers looking at home, and where can we find more about this game, about your company? Can you give us your plugs?
You can find Snacko everywhere as at Snacko Dev, so that's on any platform. You can probably find the most about our game on Steam, and we also have a Discord that's very active.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. Best of luck with your game, and thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you on the next video.